Hey everybody, this is Simon Sage from iMore. We're at GDC 2013 talking with the folks from Firaxis. We've got David McDonough from 2K who's going to walk us through their new iPad title called Haunted Hollow. How's it going, David?
It's going great, thanks.
Great.
One side of the hill.
So this is our new game, Haunted Hollow. I'm from Firaxis. I'm one of the designers on this game. It's a new turn-based strategy game for mobile from Firaxis. And the basic idea is you are the master of a haunted house, trying to take over a sleepy, unsuspecting town. But you're facing off against a rival haunted house on the opposite hillside. And over the course of the game, you will build your house into the sky and fill it full of crazy rooms, summon all kinds of monsters, and send them into the town as your army to combat your opponent and terrify the townspeople.
Ah, cool.
So it's a simple turn-based strategy game, like I said, asynchronous. So there's several game modes. You can play Game Center asynchronously with your friends or with strangers online. You can play Pass and Play, which is a hot seat game, local against another person, or single player against a computer opponent. So we're gonna start a new Pass and Play game here. And the first thing that you'll do when you start the game is choose your house and choose the monsters you want to play with. This is kind of like composing a deck in a card game.
Sure.
The house and the monsters are your play style. It's who you are, what kind of house master you are.
Sure.
And it'll determine what you're capable of doing in the game. So we'll just play with the starting set for both players, which is the Victorian house and the basic 5 monsters.
So you'll notice that my guy here has several abilities.
Jump onto the
The
game.
scare ability. He also has an attack ability.
So
And they cost
here's the map, and this is my house. It's my foyer to begin with. Right now I'm starting off small, sort of a fixer-upper.
Sure.
And here's the town full of people asleep in their beds, no idea what's about to happen. And then my opponent on the opposite hillside. So the game works by a combination of building your house, summoning monsters in the house, and then using the monsters in the town against the townspeople or against other monsters.
Okay.
You build your rooms by like snapping them onto the house, and the house can have all kinds of crazy combinations and build up into the sky. And every room is associated with a certain kind of monster. So this is a belfry, which builds vampires, naturally. And then you use the monsters, sending them down through the paths in the town to scare the townhouses or fight or use special abilities on other monsters.
So the room I drew on
These
this guy,
townhouses, these 14 houses, represent winning the games. If you take over the control of all the townhouses, you win.
Okay.
And your opponent's got to do the same thing. And your monsters that you're using to do this, do it by running up to the townhouse and scaring it. And the little townsperson will run terrified out of it and take refuge in the church, which will become important later.
Sure.
The monsters come in 3 types. There's scary types, which usually only scare townhouses. That's their primary function. They're your resource gatherers, your zone control guys.
Sure.
Then you have fighty monsters, which are designed to get their back, fight other monsters, and mix it up in the town. And then special monsters, which do sort of very unique situation-specific things depending on the kind of monster it is, and they can be a great kind of X factor in your army.
Right.
So the starting set's got 2 scary, 2 fighty, and 1 special. Those 2 scary monsters are the vampire, which we just saw, and the ghost. The fighty ones are the Frankie and the werewolf, and then the starting special is a zombie.
Notice also whenever I'm scaring one of these houses,
This would be as if I just handed the iPad to you and you see a replay of what I just did, so that moves are kind of masked while the player is considering.
Yeah.
So player 2 here drew a ghost. Ghosts are cool because they scare like the vampire, but unlike the vampire, they move by warping from place to place.
Oh, nice.
So they can move right up and down through the lanes and through the cliff, and like they're very, very difficult to block and hem in. So you'll notice that the townhouses are arranged into 6 groups, pairs, and then trios down here. These are the town neighborhoods, and if you take over a neighborhood and control it, then you get an extra fear point at the start of your turn. You saw those little yellow terrified faces I was gathering. Those are fear points. They're the resources of the game and the action system. So the number of fear points I have is the number of things I can do.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So the more houses I control, the more fear points I get. That's one way. And then as I level up over the course of the game, I get more. So here's my experience bar up here.
Yeah.
This is local within a game. It's not a long-term persistence.
Right.
But all the cool things I do give me little stars. We saw me gathering a couple of those. I can come down here and scare this neighborhood to demonstrate.
show you one more thing, and then I'll
As I level up, every level I get will give me a new fear point, an extra fear point to start with, but it'll also let me choose an item, which they sit in this little dock down here, and they're one-use only, extremely powerful special ability things. They're sort of let you cast a spell on the game in one way that can like totally swing it one way or the other for your side. So I took over the neighborhood and I got a bonus fear. I'll move up here and take over this one.
They'll merge.
You can see this little meter above the town church here.
Yeah.
Every terrified person that arrives at the church makes the town matter. You know, the more you scare the town, the more they're going to be displeased with you. You're not being a good neighbor.
Sure.
And if it gets mad enough, the town will summon a mob, an angry group of townspeople with torches who will chase your monsters around the field and burn down the houses that you've scared.
Oh wow.
So, I drew a werewolf room I'll build up here. No, so they.
So can the angry mob wipe out your monsters? Or
It
how does that
can.
work? Okay.
It's very slow. It moves by the AI controls it, and it moves one space a turn at the end of your moves.
Okay.
And if it catches a monster, it will kill it immediately, no matter how strong it is. And if it catches a townhouse that's been scared, it will burn it down.
Now, does that work to your advantage or no?
There's usually a disadvantage. For instance, I control these 2 neighborhoods now, so I'll get 2 bonus fear at the start of my turn. But if the mob were to burn one of these houses, that neighborhood is no longer controlled, and no longer with fear.
Okay.
So I still have to control the remaining house to win, but I don't get the resource bump that I used to. So they're definitely bad news.
So you have to kind of pace your spooking so the church doesn't get too angry, right?
Yeah, or be ready for it, because in addition to the mob chases your monsters around and is generally bad news, but the only way to get rid of it is to fight it in combat.
Okay.
Which if you do and you win, you'll get 5 experience for that off the bat. So it can be a huge bump if you're behind. You can come up, take out the mob, jump up a level, and be back in the game.
Oh, that's cool.
One last little feature: you can build your house every turn with a free room that's drawn from the 5 that you picked.
Right.
But if you're interested in expanding a little bit faster, you can spend fear to draw new ones, and you can increase your house sizes more quickly. So I just drew a werewolf room, which is the same as the den, which is the same as one I've already have. And this will let me merge my den into a larger den. There's 3 sizes of room, which likewise correspond to 3 sizes of monster. So a bigger den means I can build level 2 werewolves. Ooh, I just leveled up, drew an item.
Nice.
So you can see the kind of things that these items will do.
Sure.
So I'm going to choose the bolt, which supercharges a monster, makes it move faster, and that'll definitely come in handy. So over here you can see this level 2 den can build a level 2 werewolf.
Right, right.
Next turn when I have the fear, I might do that.
Cool.
So the game goes back and forth at this, each turn is fairly adjustable, only 5 or 6 actions probably per side. I think the pathological case of the most fear you could ever have to work with at one time is 14.
Okay.
Which would be a hefty turn, but that's very, very late in the game.
Sure.
So like, it's replaying the turn for the benefit of the second player. This is exactly the sort of thing you would see if you were playing on Game Center. Somebody would send you a turn, you would see a replay of what they did, and then it would be your turn.
So for new players, do you have any kind of beginning tips?
Oh yeah, the game was really made so that it could appeal to everyone and be easy to learn but deep to get good at. So the phrase we love is an easy way in but a long way out.
Sure.
So the pro tips I will give you are always back up your scary monsters with fighting monsters, because it's easy to kill other monsters but hard to scare. So you don't ever want to lose your scary monsters. Watch out for the town mob. It's really mean. It can really ruin your plans, especially if you're winning, because you present a juicier target to it. But if you're clever, you can leash it. You can like lure it, because it'll chase the closest monster you can see, and so you can sort of edge the mob into your opponent's territory where it'll hurt them more. Yeah. Be very careful about how you build your house. Like, it's extremely powerful when you get level 2 and level 3 rooms that merge, and you can get the big monsters. You know, like you can get a level 2 belfry.
But you got to kind of plan ahead for that, right?
Yeah. When you're building rooms, always think about how am I going to expand.
Sure.
And the recommendation we always make is build up into the air.
Sure.
There's more space in the sky. Yeah.
Check.
Yeah.
When's this coming out?
It's in early release in Canada right now.
Yes.
If you're in Canada, I recommend you check it out. And for everybody in the U.S. and globally, it'll be launched later in the spring.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Thank you.